If you don't sacrifice for what you want, what you want's going to become that sacrifice.
These days are not coming back. The most important commodity in life is our time. That's something we will never, ever get back.
You're listening to the Limitless Leadership Podcast, the podcast designed to help automotive repair shops learn how to lead, coach, train, and manage their team better by sharing proven techniques and thought-provoking interviews from industry leaders. Are you ready to transform your leadership skills by tapping into unrecognized potential to achieve limitless results? Let's get ready for liftoff. It's time to go from great to greater. Here's today's episode.
What happens when a leadership company dedicated to helping people tap into unrecognized potential collaborates with the leading cloud-based platform trusted by over 11,000 shops nationwide, a standard-setting level of training designed to help aspiring leaders achieve limitless results? Join Limitless Leadership in a collaborative training event sponsored by TechMetric on Friday, December 5th in Houston, Texas at TechMetric's office. If you want a team that's aligned, accountable, and fired up to win, this is the training that will transform the way you lead. Limitless Leadership dives into reshaping your mindset, clarifying your vision, and teaching you how to communicate, delegate, and execute at a higher level. You'll learn how to lead with purpose, create daily wins, drive operational excellence through KPIs, and inspire real change without burnout, chaos, or constant firefighting. If you're ready to step out of doer mode and into leader mode, this is where it starts. Just visit limitlessleadership.co/training to learn more. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Limitless Leadership Podcast. We are coming at you live from the 2025 Apex show in Las Vegas, Nevada with two of my friends. One is a new friend. In fact, both of you guys are kind of new, but Mike, you and I have been chatting for a minute. We've been following each other on social media for a good while now, but was able to connect at Ratchet Wrench not too long ago. Some people are thinking, hey, Josh, that's great, but who's your guest today? I'll get to that. My guest today is the founder and CEO of OverDryve, and help me out.
Luke Edwards, I'm the Director of Client Marketing at OverDryve.
Director of Client Marketing. So my guest today is Mike Delacruz and Luke Edwards. Guys, thanks for being here on the podcast.
Proud to be here. Thank you so much for the invite, Josh.
Of course, man. Well, hey, Mike, the more you and I get to know each other, the more I'm like, man, I like this guy, Mike. I got to get him on the podcast. I think you and I share a lot of beliefs, a lot of similarities, and even in the way we think about how there is so much around. There's so many great people around. There's so much in the industry, and it's this abundance kind of mindset. You know, it's about collaboration, not competition. It's abundance, not scarcity, and that's something that I really appreciated about the conversation that you and I had a few weeks ago. We're going to talk more about that later on. Before we do, I'm going to ask for each of you guys to share with our audience who you are, what you do, and how you do it.
Absolutely, yeah. And just real quick, I had such a good moment with you a couple weeks ago in Arizona, and it was one of those moments where we sort of separated like kind of what each other does, and it was more of a human element tied behind that. Yeah. So I got a lot to learn about you that day, and your whole be still movement, it stuck in my mind. So I just want to be clear, like, man, it was such a great opportunity to meet you a couple weeks ago. I am Mike Delacruz. I'm the founder and CEO of OverDryve. OverDryve is outsourced marketing exclusively to the automotive aftermarket, so the independent automotive industry, the industry that we all love.
There you go.
So very proud to say we've actually January 11th, we're coming up on 3 years.
Congratulations.
And Luke was, as I mentioned to you earlier, was my number one, and he's really the driving force behind OverDryve, and very, very proud to have him on board. So I think that's a good segue maybe.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that. So, of course, my name is Luke Edwards. I'm the Director of Client Marketing. I was the first one that came on board with Mike in about June of 2023, coming a little over 2 years now, and came on as a client marketing manager, and Mike was kind of my mentor, teaching me this marketing game. As we brought on team members, I've kind of had an opportunity to level up in my position. So now I'm director, and I essentially just oversee operations from vendor communication, client communication, how the team's working together in between teams. And, this is a new position for me in leadership, and it's something I'm learning every single day, and I take it very seriously. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at and what I'm doing.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you guys both for sharing. Mike, let me go to you and ask, what got you into the industry? What were you doing before OverDryve? And then what prompted the creation of OverDryve?
Yeah, great question. I love this question because I'm very proud of this entry into this beautiful industry. So I started back in 2011 working for DemandForce. A lot of folks know DemandForce. We got bought by Intuit. We acquired Customer Link and so on. And then went on to Kukui, went on to Elite, the coaching company. And then right before I launched OverDryve, it was Velo. And a lot of folks know Velo as well. So I was director of business development on the shop management system side. So I would manage the portfolio of, ShopBoss, Protractor. They recently acquired Shopware. That was after my time. But I just sort of got to a point where I said, you know what, I love the industry. This is where my heart's at. And then it was a lot of soul searching, right? Like, what am I really interested in? And marketing was it. So I said, how could I sort of combine these two things and just try to help shop owners sort of pave the way to reaching what they're trying to accomplish? And then here came OverDryve.
And Luke, what got you into, how did you find OverDryve?
So I went into Ventura College. It's my local university, and I was, interested in a lot of different things. I was a young kid, didn't really know what direction I wanted to go in. Ended up going to Southern New Hampshire University and started studying marketing and communications and media. And when I came out of that, or actually while I was in college, I started my own little marketing agency in my hometown called Clickstart Digital Marketing with my dad. So we were helping out other auto repair shops, towing companies, restaurants in my hometown. So when Mike made his announcement coming out of Elite, my dad forwarded it to me and he said, hey, this is a guy that's been in the industry for a long time. He knows what he's doing. Might as well reach out. So I sent Mike a text and had a couple of calls and joined the team.
And the rest is history.
Exactly.
He was, if I could add this too, Josh, I wasn't ready to hire when I met Luke.
Okay.
And I love saying this because it's true. I broke, right, building from literally the ground up.
Yeah.
And after I met Luke, I told my wife, I said, I know we're not ready, but I have to have him in some capacity. Yeah. And we were able to work something out. I think it might have been part-time in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And then we just sort of built from there. And like I said, he's truly the backbone of what we do.
Hey folks, running an auto repair shop, it's tough. We know that. And between managing repairs, keeping customers happy, and handling front office tasks, there's never enough time in the day. That's where HubShop Solutions comes in. Hub takes the burden off your team by building fast, accurate repair estimates and handling extended warranties, so you can focus on what really matters, running a profitable, efficient shop. With Hub, you free up your team, you boost efficiency, and you increase profits. So sign up now and get free onboarding. Visit hubshopsolutions.com to schedule a demo today. HubShop Solutions. Unlock your shop's full potential. I love hearing you say that. I mean, Luke, that's got to make you feel pretty special for him to speak about you that way, to recognize, like, look, I may not even be ready for this guy, but he's in my life for a reason. I'm a faith-based person. I believe that God puts people in your life at the right time for the right reasons. And, I often say, like, God's timing is he's not often early, but he's never late, right? It's like, this is the right time, the right guy right now. I love what's happening within OverDryve. I'm seeing the posts that you're making, Mike, celebrating team birthdays, and I mean, you got like the entire team involved on the Zoom screen, and you got celebration and celebration emojis happening, and it's like you're making it fun in a digital world, in a virtual world, which is great. It also speaks to the growth that you're having. So first and foremost, congratulations. I mean, you're coming up on 3 years. Luke was your number 2. How many employees do you now have at OverDryve?
Technically we have 11. So we have some part-timers in there, but 11 total.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that growth. I mean, that's substantial growth over the last 3 years.
Thank you.
I'm coming up on 3 years as well, and you've got, I don't know, 10 more employees than I do. So you're doing something right. So I want to give you kudos and props for that.
You as well, Josh. You as well. That's why I'm honored to be here.
Well,
you as well.
You. Well, I'll say this. I'm thankful and blessed that Brett Beitler just joined the team just a couple weeks ago, as of the timing of this recording.
Yep.
And it's, again, I can relate to. It's like, I'm not necessarily ready, but I've got to have this guy. And what's crazy is Brett has been really more of a mentor to me. I mean, he's, of course, a friend as well, but he was like, man, why don't I just come join you? And I'm like, bro, like, let's do this.
Let's
I mean,
do
come
this,
on.
yeah.
I mean, like, it to me, it wasn't even something I was considering. He's just been someone in my life for a long time who is great at what he does.
Yep.
He's a perfect fit, but I didn't even think about having him join the team until he gave me that idea. So it helps with the perspective shifting, right?
Yep, absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
So let's get into some leadership discussion. So Luke, you talked about how you joined the team,
Yep.
part-time role,
Yep.
And then suddenly have become thrust into a leadership role. You're formally leading a multitude of people.
Yep.
I know that in the early stages of any company, you're wearing multiple hats. I mean, I've got to assume that you joined in June of 2023. Mike gave you a hat to wear, and a couple years go by, and all of a sudden you find yourself wearing 4 or 5 hats, none of which might be the one that you started with, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like that comes with the territory in a
Sure.
growing, a new growing business. But I'll ask you, Luke, what have been some of the groundbreaking light bulb epiphany type moments for you in a new leadership role, and subsequently the challenges that come along with it?
That's a great question, and there's a lot of them, I would say.
Like, where do I
Yeah,
start?
yeah.
till midnight, Josh.
Yeah, where do I start? You know, I'm a young kid in the industry, and I'm super grateful for Mike and the opportunity. So, like, I've just been thrust into this world, and he's really been my mentor in a lot of ways. And every hurdle that I've come across, we've been able to, bounce back and forth on each other, and sometimes we butt heads, and we always work it out. And I think having that relationship with your superior or your coworker or whatever it is, that's going to be the healthiest way for you to, overcome difficult situations, challenging situations for me. So that's kind of how it was for me. But what I always tie it back to, and I talk to him a lot about it, is like, we have a mission as a company, we have goals to hit, and I'm pretty ambitious. I know he's pretty ambitious, and you just got to buy into the mission. So I think I in the position, what's allowed me to, I guess I can say, succeed is that I'm ambitious. I know we have a goal, and I'm fully bought in.
Yeah.
If you don't sacrifice for what you want, what you want's going to become that sacrifice. So I think that's something I remind myself quite often of, and I'm along for the ride, and there's no quitting. So.
Mike, I mean, I've known Luke for all of 10 minutes, and already I'm like, this guy.
See why I had to hire it?
I got to try to figure out how to get him on Limitless Leadership's team. Jeez, come on. I'm kidding. I would never do that to you. Luke, man, I want to honor you for a second and really point out something that is really special. I believe that we connect through authenticity, humility, and vulnerability. You have already exuded all 3 of those things in the 10 minutes that I've known you. That is a strong skill set, it's not really a skill set, a strong assets to possess,
Thank you.
for lack of better terms.
Yep. Thank you.
That right there is really why it's so important that you get the right people on the bus, get the wrong people off the bus. And I can see, Mike, why you're like, hey, I got to have a guy like Luke on the team. We can go fast alone, but we can go way further together. Mm-hmm. And when you have people who are bought in, you're casting a vision, Mike. Now, your vision might change. Your purpose might even change over time. Your vision could, your mission could change over time. Your core values could even change. Mm-hmm. All of that is okay, but you're casting a clear vision. And when you get someone on board who is bought in, I mean, that's priceless. That is priceless. Can you speak to the audience who is listening and saying, man, like, I feel like I've got good team members, but I can't get them to buy in. Like, I'm struggling with buy-in. What kind of advice would you give to someone who's struggling with buy-in right now for their team?
The first thing that I would do, Josh, is I would separate us from the business, right? Because it's easy to get so focused on what you're doing every single day, and days will turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and then you sort of lose sight of that, right? So I say take a step back, reassess, but also talk to them, learn about them, right? I think that's one of the biggest issues that I see in leadership, and not speaking on the industry, I mean as a whole, as a leader, whether it's corporate world or the independent aftermarket, whatever it is not really knowing what your team members are trying to accomplish. What really motivates them? What drives them? Because everybody's motivated off of different things, and everybody has a story. You know, I think we've even talked about, and I'll just speak publicly on the podcast, but like the whole, every every person has a story, that Chick-fil-A, right?
That's right.
You don't really know what somebody's going through. So whether they're having some challenges, some hurdles that they're having difficulties overcoming, maybe they want to talk about it. And it's our responsibility as a leader to step back away from the business in a comfortable environment and ask them questions. Let them talk, open-ended questions. Let them talk and just listen, right? And then what I do is sort of take those, what I learned from the conversation, and then help them kind of guide them to what they're trying to accomplish, right? I think that is one of the key things that I look for in kind of problem solving as a leader.
All right, folks, as you know, great leadership isn't about doing everything the best. It's actually about having the right partners in your corner to build your shop's success. It's about putting the right team in place. It's about choosing the right vendors to make you a pro, making pro moves. And when I think about the pros, I think about shop marketing pros. The know, like, and trust factor, that's a real thing. And Shop Marketing Pros understands that. That's why I want to recommend Shop Marketing Pros to become your marketing partner in your shop. They get to know, like, and trust you and your business to then help your audience get to know, like, and trust you too, and bring your shop to the next level. So when I talk about making pro moves, this is the kind of move I'm talking about. This is the kind of standard-setting partnership that's going to elevate your shop. So if you're ready to become a pro in your shop, visit shopmarketingpros.com and partner with the best. If we knew everyone's story, how could you not love those people?
Right.
I mean, like everyone has a story. I love that you share that. Everyone has a story. And when we have an opportunity to give that story a voice, that's powerful.
Agree.
When we can help our team members understand, believe, and know that here I have a voice. My opinions do matter. My ideas are considered. That creates so much engagement and not just this industry, as you shared earlier, Mike. I mean, like as a whole, there are so many opportunities as it relates to leadership for every industry, every organization. Statistically speaking, 77% of employees are disengaged at work. And we can change that by connecting with them. I shared earlier, we connect through authenticity, humility, vulnerability. We speak, we ask questions, we listen empathetically, we learn about them. We learn about their family. We learn about their hobbies, their fears, their motivators, what's going to inspire them, what demotivates them. We learn about their story, and we connect with them in a way where it creates engagement. And the beautiful thing is the byproduct of engagement is an increase in performance. You're not doing it. I'm not going to be like, all right, I'm going to connect with Luke today so that he becomes a better team member.
Right.
But you're going to say, I'm going to connect with Luke today, period. The byproduct is he becomes a better team member.
Agree.
That's it, right? You mentioned earlier that we connected a few weeks ago in Arizona, and you referenced what you called the Be Still movement. And what you're referring to is on my hand, I have a tattoo on the same hand that my watch goes, and the tattoo says Be Still. And it's my reminder when I'm looking at my watch, because I'm quote unquote so busy, right? I'm like, oh, I gotta be somewhere. I got things to do. And I look at my watch and I'm reminded, hey, Josh, be still. Like your kids right now are 14, 13, 12, and 9. They're not going to be this age forever, and time flies. We know that time flies. So when I can remind myself to be present, to be still, to like sometimes the best action is no action, that's going to go a long way in not only my own life and the ability to show up for my family, but also the memories that my kids have of me. As hard as I'm working, I don't want them to remember me just constantly working. I want them to know that, hey, Josh was present, or Dad, whatever. Like he was present for us. He was there. He came to the games. He sat at the dinner table with us. Like he was a part of our lives. And sadly, I mean, maybe I'm so stubborn that I actually have to get a tattoo to remind me of it. But sadly, I'm regularly having to remind myself, like, hey, Josh, take a breath, man. Like, pause, step back, be still.
It's a beautiful reminder. And I'll tell you, that was our bro moment, man.
Yeah, it was.
When you showed that to me, I was instantly in love, man. I like, from a brother perspective, right? Because I said, this dude, man, he gets it.
Yeah.
Because we all are busy, right? Like, I'm on the road. I can't tell you how many flights I've taken this year. But, even my wife, I heard her talking about with one of our friends, and she said, what's cool is, and she's telling the story about me And I'm just listening. And she said, what's cool about Mike is, he has a growing company, and, he'll go to the East Coast for 24 hours and then come right back because we have our date night.
Yeah.
I have my days I drop my daughter off at school. And for me, it's like, it goes down to purpose, right? Like, what am I trying to do here? And it requires a step back, being still, really thinking about like, what's my ultimate goal here, right? What's my overarching goal? And for me, it's like, we do great things in this industry. Marketing is amazing. All this cool stuff. Life is bigger. We have to be present. And I think a lot of us entrepreneurs get caught up in, just what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think from an insanity perspective, it really, when you keep those balances, when you're able to go, just the other day, we're doing I went to my daughter's Halloween parade, that kind of stuff is so important.
It is.
And it's so important. And, I hear my kids telling stories to their friends about how, dad, was able to do this and dad was able to do that. And we sort of, as parents, particularly, dads, like we don't do this for praise, really. We do it because this is what our heart wants us to do. It's what we're supposed to do. But when you hear those comments from wives and children, you're like, dude, this is amazing.
It makes you feel a certain kind of way, doesn't it?
It makes you feel, yeah.
Because here's the thing, and Mike, I think you and I can probably both relate to this. We're both kind of at a similar stage of time in relation to the small companies that we're trying to grow. And I don't know about you, I'll speak for myself here. The last few years, I have struggled setting and, more importantly, keeping boundaries for myself and my family so that I can give my company 100, but also give my family 100.
Correct.
It's hard. Speak to the listening audience and share with anyone who might be struggling with boundaries and time blocking and compartmentalizing. You're a shop owner who is just feeling like you're barely keeping your head above water, but you know how important it is to be there and to be still with your family, but it just feels like I almost can't afford to be away from the shop. Speak to, this is a mindset issue, or a mindset opportunity rather. Speak to the listening audience on how they can shift their perspective.
Yep. Time management and discipline. Now, I'm going to say that loosely because this is why I'll speak on behalf, and I know where Luke's heart's at as well, so I'm sure I'd echo what he says, but I've been in this industry for 15 years and personally have walked into almost 2,000 shops around the country and in Canada. Personally, I've seen a lot, and it's painful when you see a shop owner working 14-hour days, and many of these guys or gals don't give themselves even a paycheck.
Yeah.
It crushes me. So part of what we started here is how can we take our skill set, what we really love, and allow shop owners to get back some of their time. And in the almost 3 years, and I know Luke can attest to this because both him and I, we get text messages and DMs and things like that from clients who say, man, first time I've been to little Billy's soccer game. First time able to close the shop. First time able to send my team to whatever conference, right? First time ever. For me, as a business, yes, we all want to be profitable. We all want to grow and have a positive impact on the industry. But there is absolutely nothing more important than compliments like that.
Yeah.
It truly is an intrinsic reward, and that's something that money cannot buy. So I'm sure he would echo this. Like, that is what motivates us to get up and get going. For those compliments that we get almost on a day-to-day basis, we get a lot of these. And I don't speak publicly about it. I don't screenshot text messages and post them and things like that because I want to keep it in my heart.
Yeah.
It's really what fuels us. So to answer your question, and for the shop owners that are listening and saying maybe time management, discipline, easier said than done. I get it. My heart is with you. I understand. But it is monumentally important because these days are not coming back. The most important commodity in life is our time. That's something we will never, ever get back. And eventually, as I said a minute ago, these days are going to roll by so quickly. Eventually, we're already coming up on 2026. I
Crazy.
feel like I was just celebrating this year.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
It feels like that, right? And eventually little Billy or little Sally is going to be 18 years old, 20 years old, right? And what kind of memories are we going to have with our children? So for me, yes, I understand in many cases it's easier said than done. So I don't mean any disrespect for shop owners that are in the grind right there. My heart is with you. Please just think about that. Discipline, time management, those are really key attributes, things that you'll never, ever get back.
Yeah, that's so good. Luke, anything to add to that?
No, I mean, I would echo what he said, but I think another side of the messages we get from clients are these are shops that are ambitious, just like trying to grow, maybe open up another location, or maybe they've been in a drought for 3 months, 6 months, and they send us messages, hey, we're not getting enough work. I'm going to have to fire someone. And like knowing how much I care about my team and our team, that's a tough thing to do if you're a people person. So when I get a lot of messages or we take on a client we don't have enough work. I mean, these guys, I can't even fill up their bays. They don't have enough work. I don't want to let these guys go. And then I get a text 2 months later, a month later, 3 months later, and say, I just hit a record month. Or, man, I've never seen the flow of calls coming in or the cars coming in. It's just like, it definitely like warms my heart, because it's not just I'm impacting that client's life, I'm impacting that technician's life, all of their technicians' life, their service advisor's life. And that's why it's so intrinsically rewarding to do what we do. It's just because you're affecting so many people in a positive way. If when it becomes successful, which it quite often does. So
Anytime there is a service provided, there's a transaction that's involved. We know that's just part of it, but there's a service provided, and what I could be hearing from a marketing company is what we provide to you is foot traffic. We get more cars in your bays, and we get more guests in your lobby. And I know you do, but what both of you are saying is we give you time with your family. We're able to make an impact, like a life impact. It goes beyond automotive repair. And I think the three of us would agree with what I'm about to share, and that is, at the end of the day, it's really not about fixing cars, and it never has been. We get to serve people and make an impact on people, change lives, make a difference, make an impact, and we're just using the vessel of automotive repair. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this, Mike, something I really admire and respect about you is you got some great energy, man. Like, you are someone who, when I see you, you're always smiling. You look like a fun guy to be around. Then when you meet you, I'm like, yeah, this guy confirmed. He is a fun guy to be around. We're contagious. We can either infect or we can affect. And you are regularly affecting change. And if we're going to say infect, I'll just say that you are positively infectious. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you, how important is it? Because here's what I'm getting at. You show up. Like, you show up and you show out, for lack of better terms. How important is it for a leader to recognize what I'm sharing and know that the moment I walk in the door at my shop, the moment I walk back in the door at my home, I am contagious. I can either infect or I can affect. And the two things that we control each and every day is our attitude and our effort. Speak to the leader who struggles with this concept, struggles with being caught in the weeds, not able to see the forest through the trees, and struggles with showing up for their team.
Pursue your passion. Identify that. And that's something, and I'm 45, and my career before 2007, that mortgage crisis in 2007, it was all mortgage. I was in the mortgage industry. I worked for the first online mortgage lender, eLoan, in 1999.
Wow.
Yeah. So pursue your passion. That's the best advice that I could give. I've done a lot of soul searching throughout my professional career. There's been moments where I dreaded opening up the laptop. And make no mistake, I mean, high six-figure salaries, but I was not happy. So for me, that was a big eye-opener in the sense that, like, yes, money's important. We have to pay bills, and we want to go take our family on trips and things like that. But money's truly not everything. And you see me happy like that because I have genuinely found my passion. I found what I want to do. I love this industry more than anything. Those compliments that we get from clients we were talking about a second ago, man, Josh, that's what drives me. That's what fuels me in the morning. I wake up, I set my alarm at 4:40 every day. Every morning, I'm on the West Coast. And I love it. well, I have a routine, and Luke's heard this routine probably a couple hundred times, but I don't grab my phone right away. What I do is I lay in bed and I just process. I just, the mind's interesting. And if you've ever heard of Naval Ravikant, he has a good perspective on the mind. The mind's going to do whatever it's going to do. Like in his example, he says, if I told you not to think about a pink elephant, you're going to think about a pink elephant.
I can't not think about it,
because
right?
your mind's going to do whatever it does, right?
Yeah.
So I spend 10 to 15 minutes every morning before I look at my phone. And I'm up before my wife, so it's just me and my thoughts. And I just sort of let my mind do its thing. I think about lessons I learned from the day before, what types of things I want to accomplish that day. And then that's when I sort of come out of my little cocoon and I grab my phone and I look at my email and I look at my calendar. But I have found it, Josh. I found what I love. And I came into this industry almost 15 years ago. And what's interesting is it's cliche. They say it's not work if you're having fun. Trust me, I've learned that just over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's not work if you're having fun.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this. So I would say to the young leader, find your passion. Truly find what motivates you and drives you. Don't be tied off the economics. Don't chase the dollar. Pursue your passion, and trust me, you will live every single day with purpose and happiness.
Dude, I love everything you just shared, Mike. Something that I often share with folks is that because people are like, man, you just seem like a busy guy. Like you're doing a lot. It seems like you're busy. And yes, but I don't feel like I'm working. And I don't get burnt out because I love what I do. I definitely get tired. Don't get me wrong. I get tired, but I don't get burnt out. I'm going to take it a step further from what you just said, and not to negate what you shared. I'd actually even challenge you into saying it's not that you have found your passion, you found your purpose. Because I often say, like, if you want to find your purpose, a lot of people they want to know the meaning of life. They want to discover, why am I here? What am I created for? What is my purpose? You will often find your purpose from your passion. Mm-hmm. So when you can start finding your passion, what lights your fire? What puts a smile on your face? What gives you that infectious, positive energy that we see Mike Delacruz with every day? He's passionate about something, and in this case, it's serving people, making an impact on people. Brother, that's your purpose. Mm-hmm. Like, that is what you're here for. That is your purpose.
I love it.
And dude, like, you're killing it. You're doing amazing.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this. Two questions I ask every guest on this podcast. First question is, what does leadership mean to you? Luke, I'm going to start with you because you're a new leader, as you are a new formal leader, rather, as you're growing into this role. What does leadership mean to you? How would you answer that question? And Mike, you get ready because you're next.
I mean, I'll go back to what I said in the beginning. I feel like I think of leadership as responsibility, and I don't mean that as like, oh, you have a weight on your shoulders. I think I'm extremely grateful, but I take it very, very seriously. So for me, it's something that no one's perfect at, but you're always striving for perfection, just like we are in life. And that's how I think of leadership, is that it's a never-ending mission to be the best you can be for your team, for your clients, whoever you communicate with. And that's work. That's my family. And that's what it means to me. Is striving for greatness, even though it might not be something you can ever achieve, but you're always going to try.
Mike, you might appreciate this because you're in the Bay Area, correct?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Are you a Warriors guy or a Lakers guy?
I'm a Warriors guy.
Oh, then you're not going to like this. All right. Are you also Bay Area?
I'm a massive Warriors guy. No, I'm from Ventura, California, right north of LA.
Okay.
Should be a Lakers fan, but
should be.
I'm a
but
massive
you're not.
Warriors fan.
So look, then you may not like what I'm about to share, but I will say this: what you just described is the Mamba mentality. Kobe Bryant, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's this relentless pursuit of perfection, knowing you're never going to attain it.
Yeah.
But you're constantly striving for it. And look, if you're listening to this episode, I'd encourage you to watch this episode. You can go to YouTube at The Bearded Leader, and you can see me raise my hand and admit, as a recovering perfectionist, I have struggled with this idea of it's not yet perfect. I'm not yet ready. I'm not even confident. I'm not yet motivated. Therefore, I won't take action. But what I've learned over the years is that motivation and confidence tend to follow the action that we take. So a lot of us just do it scared. You're a new leader, Luke, so you're not going to have all the answers figured out. But guess what? 30 years from now, 50 years from now, you're still not going to have it all figured out. No one's ever going to have it figured out.
Yep.
So just do it scared. Take action and do it scared.
Yep.
Mike, same question to you. What does leadership mean to you?
To me, leadership means what kind of mark can you leave on the next generation? And remember, this is speaking for somebody that's been in leadership for 2002, 2003. So I've technically managed a lot of people. And for me, it's never about hierarchy. Hierarchy is a disease in terms of, yes, decision making. Sure, there's certain things. I look at P&Ls and stuff like that as an owner does. But when it comes to actually serving, we're locking arms. And Luke knows exactly how we work. And I always say this repeatedly to the team. There's not one person better than anybody else. We're all here in the trenches trying to serve, trying to do good. So for me, it's being the best version of myself and on the professional side and even on the personal side to really pave the way for this next generation. I heard about a story, and it's funny because this always sticks to me when it comes about leadership, but it's about Alexander the Great. And I think it was a Tom Hopkins book, it might have been, but there was a story about Alexander the Great. It's like 400 years BC. Alexander the Great him and his men were walking across this desolate plain. It's like 120 degrees outside. They didn't have any water, and they're walking for miles and miles and miles and miles. Well, they didn't have water, and it's 120, 130 degrees, and their throats are burning. They don't have any. So many of his men, over the course of several weeks, they died, right? They rolled over and died. Well, there was one point where one of his men had a helmet, and he brought Alexander the Great the helmet, and there was just, at the bottom of the helmet, there was just enough water at the bottom of the helmet. So the man who brought it to him, he said, "Here, you're our leader. You need to drink this so you could keep going on this mission." Alexander the Great took the helmet, flipped it upside down, poured the water on the ground. So what he responded with was, "It doesn't make sense to drink when many thirst." And the moral of that story is, even though he could not give his men what they really, really needed, the water to keep going on, the one thing that he did give them was a motivation to go forward as a leader.
That's strong.
So for me, it's we are in the trenches together doing this. We are locking arms. We all have a mission. We all have a goal. Everybody's bought into what Luke said, to the mission, what we're all trying to accomplish. Yeah. Everybody understands this. And so again, it's more of, through action as a leader, what can I leave behind? What can I sort of pass the baton to this next generation so that they can learn? There's nothing more inspiring to me when I see on LinkedIn guys or gals who they used to report directly to me. And I'll never forget having conversations with many of them, struggling to hit quota, struggling to convert demos into opportunities, and, struggling. And then you see them on LinkedIn today, and they're like senior vice president of so-and-so, right? To me, that's leadership. What can we do to pass to the next generation so that they could continue to build on this thing?
Love that, man. That's great. I mean, real talk, if I'm being real, if I'm the guy who brings Alexander the Great, I'm like, bro, I'm motivated, but I'll take a sip. I'm just kidding. Thank you for sharing that, Mike. That's great. So second question I like to ask is, what is the best advice you've ever received from a coach or a mentor? I'll go to you, Mike, first, and then Luke, be thinking about your answer.
Yeah. Well, so I've gotten a lot of really, really good advice, and I have a mentor who actually was the founder of Demand Force, Rick Barry. I meet with him every quarter. He's such a good, positive mentor to me. I think everybody should have a coach, just so you know.
Preach.
Like,
come on, Mike.
Right? Whether it's fitness, I have strength and conditioning coach, like whatever it is, business coach, financial, whatever the coach is, we need a coach. Yeah. Just for I don't care how big we think we are, we need a coach. The best piece of advice that I've ever gotten, and again, I've gotten a lot of positive advice. Back in 2004, I was working for Elo. And I mentioned them earlier. They were the first online mortgage lender. And keep in mind, 99, it was like, we had dial-up, dude. It was like, you've got mail. Yeah. Like, that's how email was back then, right?
Luke, I
wasn't born.
I was going to say, he has no idea. The struggle was real, Luke. It was real.
Yeah, I wasn't even around.
But I was a senior loan consultant working in First Mortgage. Everything was fantastic. And then they brought this new executive leader. Her name was Angela Pinty. And she came from Wells Fargo. And, she was she probably all of about 4'2", right? But she came in to lead a team of senior loan consultants. Well, there was a meeting that we had, and she said to her, some of the best piece of advice that she's received, and she wanted to pass it along, was have fun with it. And I'm gonna add some color to this, because I didn't realize what she meant in that moment up until maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
Okay, and this is 2004. Okay, she said, "Have fun with it." And there were people who said, "What do you mean by that, Angela?" Right? It's like, well, you'll learn, you'll get it, right? It doesn't make sense to chase things when we're not happy, when we're not having fun. The minute we don't like this journey we're on, it becomes unfun. We talk about purpose. We talk about passion. What is it? Steve Jobs, if you've ever listened, if anybody in the audience has ever listened to his Stanford commencement speech, he says, I got a million takeaways from this, and it got me through some really tough times in my life. But one of the key things that stood out to me is he said when he was 17, he read a quote that said, "If you live each day as if it were your last, someday you're most certainly going to be right." And he said, since that day for 33 years, he looked himself in the mirror every day. And he said, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? And when the answer's been no for too many days in a row, you need to change something.
Yeah.
When Angela Pinty gave everybody that advice, have fun with it, you got to have fun with it. Truly, truly. We are having, and I'll speak on myself. You feel free to echo if you feel the same, but we have fun serving this industry. We have fun having an impact. Sure, there's days where we struggle. It's part of life. But we take a step back, we reassess, and we go, there's a solution to every problem. How can we get out of this? Let's talk through it. Do we need to lean on another rep? Do we need to lean on our leader? Do we need to lean on somebody outside us? Whatever. We're going to figure this out one way or another. Yeah. But let's enjoy this journey together. Let's have fun with it. So I know it's long-winded, Josh.
That's great.
But
no, it's great.
Have fun with it.
I love it.
Make every day count.
Have fun with it. Make every day count. By the way, I love that you referenced Steve Jobs' commencement speech. So one of the service offerings that Limitless Leadership provides is the Limitless Leadership Blueprint, which is an online leadership training. And one of the videos that's attached to this online course takes you to another link that it links you to that commencement speech, which was one of the best speeches I've heard for any graduation.
Hands down.
Luke, same question to you. Best advice you've ever received from a coach or mentor?
So this comes from my dad, and I have it tattooed on my chest just like you have, be still. And it's count your blessings. Okay. And just being grateful for your life. I mean, I think some people have more materialistically than others, and some people have nothing, but I think just being alive today and being born was a blessing, and being grateful for the life that you have. We all have routines. We all love our comfort zone that we're in. Yeah. And anything that steps outside of that, we can complain about, we think negatively about, man, Monday is coming around the corner, whatever the case is. But take a step back and count your blessings. Really understand how grateful you are to even be in the position to go into a job, have a job. For me, I just married my wife last month. How grateful I am for that. And, I have a dog. We just moved into a house, and there's so much in my life I can be grateful for. Why would I ever complain about having a difficult conversation with this vendor, this employee, this client, or have to start on Monday or work late there's no reason to complain. I mean, we're all so lucky to even be on this earth that I think, just understanding that day in and day out has really helped me. And my dad said that, and my sister has it tattooed on her. And I think it's just a family phrase that we all like to tell each other.
Love that. Count your blessings. Hey, you guys have delivered some incredible nuggets for this podcast episode. The first question I ask every client on every single coaching call, they know it's coming every time. What are some of your latest wins? Because here's what we know. Humans have up to 60,000 thoughts per day, and studies show that 80% of our thoughts are negative, 90% of our thoughts are repetitive. So it's no wonder that we regularly experience stress and worry and doubt and concern, anxiety and fear. But we know that fear is simply false evidence appearing real, and we will always find evidence in the things that we believe. So here's the problem that we often encounter. We could have a dozen things happen to us or for us, depending on perspective, throughout any given day, and 11 of them could be amazing. They could be blessings. They could be things that we're grateful and thankful for. But one thing was negative. And that one thing, if we're not careful, could truly ruin our day. There's 1,440 minutes in a day, and we could have something that it takes 2 minutes to get us in a funk, put us in a mood, and get us below the line. If we're not careful, we can allow the rest of our day to be ruined, and we have 11 other amazing blessings that we're not counting. Mm-hmm. We're missing the mark here. We're missing the opportunity. And Luke, you said it, man. I mean, everyone listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, nobody knows what it's like to not wake up tomorrow. Today, we're here today because it's a gift that we're not guaranteed. It's a gift.
But it will happen.
You're right.
One day we are not going to wake up. So how can you maximize every single day and continue this pursuit?
Love that.
So for me, it's just a reminder. It's a sad reminder, but it's a reality, right? Like one day we are not going to wake up. So what kind of impact can we have on this world? What can we leave behind?
Amazing. So now, because of all of that, I'm going to segue into, if you want to make the most of your day, tomorrow you're going to contact Mike from OverDryve and get on a discovery call.
Yes.
I mean, how's that segue, guys? Is it okay?
It was perfect.
I love it, Josh.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
So hey, go ahead and share with the audience before, as we wrap up. How can our audience get in touch with you to learn more about OverDryve?
Yeah, email. And OverDryve is a unique spelling, so it's Y, OVERDRYVE. Mm-hmm. So it's just Mike at OverDryve with a Y, INC.com, or my direct cell is 510-861-0132. Yes, I'm crazy enough to leave my personal cell on the air, but it goes back to what we've been talking about. This is my life.
Yeah.
I love this thing. So call me, text me. We're here, SEMA, Apex all week. Would love to chat.
Love it. Call, text, email, carrier pigeon, whatever works best for you guys.
Yep.
Carrier pigeon takes a couple days, so just prefer the
But you're
text.
still going to get it.
I'll get there.
All right. Very good. Awesome. And then website, OverDryve.
OverDriveMarketing.com. And as a matter of fact, this is a perfect plug because we actually launched our brand new website today.
Let's go.
So
Come on.
OverDryve Marketing, same spelling, OVERDRYVE marketing.com. Check it out. Leave us a comment on it. Contact us.
Yeah.
Check out our
Appreciate
social
you
medias
having
too.
us.
Of
Yeah,
course.
social media
Social
as well.
media. We're big on social media.
Excellent. Okay. All platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Yeah, at most platforms,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
We have,
Instagram, Facebook,
we have a
for sure.
presence on all platforms,
Gotcha.
but a little bit more on kind of the common ones in our industry, right?
Cool.
Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and so on. So
Very good. Well, hey, thanks for being
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah.
It was fun. It won't be your last time on the Limitless Leadership Podcast.
No.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Can I just say I appreciate you too, Josh. I
Thank
really appreciated our moment a couple weeks ago. And
Thank you, brother.
Just in that short period of time, I felt like I got a chance to meet you and know you.
Yeah.
You are truly a pillar of society, man. I
you.
really mean that from my heart. Your heart's in this the same way we've been talking about. So I love what you do, and I appreciate everything that you do.
Thank
so
you, brother.
thank you.
I appreciate you.
Josh.
Thank you. I mean, I just met you 15 minutes ago and I hopped on a podcast, and I feel like I know you, man. So I appreciate the time getting to talk to you.
Hey, it's great to have you guys on, and thank you again for the kind words. That's great.
Appreciate you, Josh.
And thank you for tuning in to yet again another episode of the Limitless Leadership Podcast. As you know, every episode we look to transform our leadership skills by tapping into unrecognized potential to achieve limitless results. So have a great day, everyone. Don't forget to smile today. Tell your loved ones how much they mean to you. I'm Josh Parnell, reminding you to keep leading well.